a communal car park out the back, which we park in. And one of the properties that faces onto the car park, one of our neighbours, has been a neighbour that sort of caused a few more challenges than probably many others. Not horrific, and not, just some lower side of the emotional scale feelings about them. And the one neighbour who will literally get out of their car and put all their rubbish on the car park ground and then just walk into their house, which is like probably 6 steps to where their own bins are and the recycling bins are. And so they will literally get out of their car and throw empty fizzy bottles and cans and stuff, and just like McDonald's wrappers, just like anything. And you're thinking, your house is right there. And we have very kindly people who go around and clear up, and they've kind of said, yeah, we know who it is, we know it's that house. And I try not to say anything because I'm thinking I don't want to focus on that. And they do have 2 little children, quite little children. They're a young couple and stuff. And I'm thinking, just keep your mouth shut, Jesse. But I also know I don't like it and find it kind of frustrating. And he also has a huge van that he has been quite inconsiderate with his parking. It's caused friction, basically, not just us that are feeling it, quite a few other neighbours are feeling it. He'll reverse his van up right up to some people's gates so they can barely get out of their gate because he's worried it'll be broken into. So it's all about him, but he doesn't worry about the other person who he's doing it to. And I don't think they mean anything malicious. They're just being self-interested. But it's all been kind of resistant-y and things, thinking, you know what, we could do without that. I had to bring a whole load of goods past his vehicle once when it was parked really tightly to our entrance, and it ended up cutting myself quite badly on his wing mirror because it was smashed, and I've still got a scar there now as a memory. So just little stuff like that. It's not huge, but it's stuff that you just think, don't want this in my life, don't want this in my life, like would like something different. Anyway, about a month ago maybe, somebody came dressed in kind of like business attire, suit and tie, whatever, to their place. I just happened to look out the window and saw this guy come to their place and noticed that her partner was home. Like, he was the guy who lives there, the couple. He was at home, which was unusual for him to be at home at that time of day. And I thought, I wonder what that's about. That doesn't just look like a friend visiting. I wonder. And I didn't even think I wonder. I just thought, they're moving. They are moving house. I can't even tell you why. I just looked at it and went, they're moving. That's an estate agent. That's what that is. And I was really, really sure of it, like with an absolute knowing. And I said to my partner, they're moving. They are. And he's like, oh, don't know. And I was like, no, look out the front of their house. They've tidied it all up. And when people go in through the front door, it looks like it's been dressed inside, ready for like pictures and things. It looked really nicely set out. Just on the glimpses, like, it sounds like I'm like keeping an eye on them all the time, but these were just fleeting things I saw. And then as we left on holiday last Monday, just as we were getting in the car, a guy came walking out of there with a tripod and like loads of camera equipment and stuff. And I was like, I told you, that is first comes the estate agent, then comes the photographer. And my partner was like, no, it's probably just, or not no, but like, oh, it's probably just photos of the kids, And I was like, no one does that nowadays. Like, they're going to use their phone. They don't get a great big tripod out. Not no one, but, the chances, I think, are less. Also, we had, around the time when the smart guy turned up at their place, like, this is really boring trivia, but it's just really interesting to see the manifestation. Around the time the smart guy turned up at their place first, we had gone out on a Saturday morning. I think we'd gone for a food shop or something. And we were really surprised that early in the morning we saw them bundling both children into their car and going out. And then later on in the day they were home already. And we were like, you wouldn't get 2 small children into a car and go out if it wasn't for a whole day. Like, you just wouldn't be bothered with the effort. And again, I said to my partner, I think they went and looked around properties. I swear that's what happened. I sound like such a neighborhood busybody. I promise you, this was just not that I even need to explain it or justify anything, but it was just stuff that we all saw in passing. And anyway, crunch point. We came home yesterday, and as we drove into the car park, I said, there you go. There's the for sale sign. I told you they were moving. And it was just like we had done absolutely nothing, hadn't deliberately made an effort, hadn't been nasty and, driven them out, none of that. The universe had completely taken care of it. And I just, that knowing, it had to have been a divine or whatever kind of thought. It was completely outside of me. Just that first time I put the small pieces together and went, without a shadow of a doubt, they are moving. And for a month, I just kept thinking, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I know it. I just know it. And all the stuff is stacking up. It's like watching, I suppose it was in a great way because I had such little attachment to it. It was like watching a seed grow, like just that time, just knowing and knowing and knowing that it was going to happen. And then coming home from a week of not even thinking about them. And the sign was there. And I was like, I told you, like every now and again I'd have a tiny doubt thinking, what if they don't actually end up moving? But I just felt such a strong feeling. And it's something really obscure and something that is not a big deal in my life, but it was really interesting to watch it unfold.